Hello, I'm Liam Turner, CIH's digital editor. As part of the 2025 CIH vice presidential election, I've been speaking with the five hopeful candidates to find out a bit more about their background and their ambitions for the CIH presidency. In this video, I speak with Thomas Sutton, an outwardly passionate and committed housing professional who currently serves as the services manager for the neighbourhood and housing service at Gateshead Council, as well as the CIH regional lead for the North East. This is his second go at the CIH presidency, and as you'll see from my chat with him, he believes he's in an even better place now to serve in the role than he was last time round. Okay, so we'll jump straight into the questions then. And the first one I have for you is, what does housing mean to you?
Yeah, housing with me, I suppose to begin with, I can answer in the inverse. Housing is not a speculative asset class. I will never say it in those terms. For me, actually, housing, the way I would summarize housing is that when you look at the housing dynamics of a society, it's a true litmus test of how healthy society is. Housing is like it's the foundation of everything. When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, good housing, shelter, security, it's the sort of foundation of it all, really, being able for people to crack on their lives and go up that pyramid. So I think for me, housing is the litmus test of how healthy a society is. So
yeah. Yeah, and obviously, I'm talking to you as part of your campaign to become the next CIH vice president. So that leads me to the question: what does CIH mean to you?
I think for me, CIH, it's as a housing professional, having a chartered, a professional body, Royal Chartered Institute of Housing. It's quite crucial to my self-identity as a housing professional that I'm a member of my professional body. I think as well, like the Chartered Institute of Housing, the history of the organisation, the Royal Charters, I've said, the link right back to Octavia Hill, so like the first sort of carnations of social housing, up until CIH's current carnation, where there's such a big focus on social housing policy and professional development, professionalisation. And on a personal level, I've done my level 4, my level 5 chartership, and hope to go further as well. So I think Chartered Institute Housing means a lot to me in that regard, being able to be proud to be a housing professional. And I think because I'm the regional group leader of the North East, it's also my Chartered Institute Housing, that role in particular, it's also my mechanism of how I get to know other housing professionals in the North East and build me networks. And as well as building me networks, the CIH in that regard allows me to build me resilience because you're linked in with people across the sector who are probably facing the same challenges as you. It means that you can understand you're not alone. Particularly if you're in a senior management position in an organisation, sometimes your peer network within your organisation isn't always that big because you're sort of at a senior level. So it's nice to be able to use the CIH to sort of form connections and that, and helps me with resilience. So so CIH, ever since I started my housing career, I've been involved one way or another. So it does mean a lot to me, particularly my professional identity.
Yeah. And that leads me to my next question, which is, why do you want to be the next CIH vice president and ultimately president?
Yeah, I obviously just spoke about my sort of love for the organisation. Feel personally at a nice juncture in my career that I've got enough senior managerial experience. And I'm also in that space between sort of executive roles and frontline housing management. So I feel like I can speak to both worlds, and I feel like as a result I can be quite an effective president. I think since last year, a year on, I think that desire has grown to want to be the CIH VP. I think as a CME role in the regional group has meant that I'm more au fait with the workings of the CIH, and so I feel in much better shape now to be able to be a figurehead in the organisation if I was to be VP and then president. I I think on a personal level, as I say, professional identity so strongly based on me day-to-day housing practice, but my membership at the Chartered Institute of Housing. To be VP and be present would be an absolute privilege. But I do think I would be an effective figurehead for the Institute just because of my position of where I am in my career.
Yeah.
I'll be able to represent, I feel quite a big chunk of the membership quite effective.
Yeah, and what is the one key issue that you would want to tackle or raise awareness of if you were to become president?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because I think there's a lot of different angles to this, and there are a lot of issues to raise.
Yeah.
But trying to think of something tangible where I think actually it's a space that maybe could do more exploring in the sector. Has led me to sort of think about this is the area I probably want to focus on if I was to be successful being president. Is that over the past few years, particularly working in a local authority housing provider, due to austerity and welfare cuts, I've seen like quite a big explosion in kids having to go into care. The pressure on children's services, and I think there's an opportunity there. A cohort of people, particularly vulnerable, where housing, what the housing situation looks like for care leavers and care experienced individuals. I think there's just something there around, as a sector, being able to demonstrate our best practice, being able to demonstrate how we can support this particular group of people a cohort of people which is growing, unfortunately, on a regular basis, and local authorities around the country will be able to testify to that. So I think there's something there around best practice for housing providers and how they support care leavers, care experienced residents. I think that's something that I'd really want to focus on.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. And then the final question I've got for you, Thomas. What would you say has been the proudest moment of your housing career so far?
Really tricky one. I think on a personal level, when I won the National Housing Federation -24 Young Leader of the Year award 10 years ago now, so I probably should get over it. But I really did. It was a proud moment, being on stage, being recognised for my abilities to present things. I think, well, there's probably a couple of more recently where it probably is, more recent, more relevant given the time frame since that event. I was at GEM. And for those who don't know, the Graduate Employee Mentoring Program, which was a program to try and get graduates to get graduates into the housing sector. That's how I came to the housing sector all those years ago, nearly 15 years ago now, or 14 years ago, whatever it is. And what was really good is that's how I came into the housing sector. Earlier this year, I was invited to go to present to the newest cohort of GEMs and tell them what my housing journey was. And so there's just some nice synergy, nice circularity, if that's the word, around being able to go back and sort of say, look, I was once starting out in the housing sector, and here I am now. And I guess as well, being able over the past few years to return home to where I'm from, in my native Gateshead in the northeast of England, in a head of housing management role, that's quite special as well, because all of a sudden have a responsibility for such like the key infrastructure, the key civic fabric of the area where I'm from, to look across the Tyneside skyline and see our stock and understand the communities and stuff. It's quite a special thing. So there's more than one, so do apologise, but there, a few different angles there around things that I've been proud of, like. So
so as I say, that covers off all the questions I wanted to ask you. But before we end our chat, do you have any kind of final thoughts you wanted to share with people watching?
I'd just say, like, it's a great set of candidates this year. I know acquaintances or some of the other candidates who are part of the list, so to speak, and absolutely fantastic set of candidates. I urge all CIH members to get out there and vote, and whoever is successful, I'm sure will do a really good job at representing members who are the lifeblood of the organisation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. Thanks, Thomas.